So, hidden treasures, which are fossil fuels, which things we use to fuel things like coal and oil, like we need oil for gas and stuff like that. And coal we use to make fires. And coal was a really big thing when we had like trains and stuff like that. We were using coal is still important now, but it's not as important as when we had it back then. That was really, really important. Then we have geysers, which we've learned about before, and caves, and I'll show you some really cool photos and stuff like that with caves. So let's get started reading. On page 112, okay? I'm gonna get started. Everyone there?
112.
Yes.
112.
Wait. I'm there.
All right, let's get started. Okay. So God placed within the earth's layers of sedimentary rock many interesting and valuable treasures for us to find and use. Valuable substances such as coal and oil are buried in pockets between these layers, and in some places there are caves with beautiful rock formations and underground waterfalls. From special underground chambers in the crust, boiling hot water can shoot several hundred feet into the geyser. All right. You got another person coming? Okay. So we're going to talk about coal and oil now, which are our fossil fuels, which are things we dig up in the ground that we use to fuel fires, fuel industry plants, stuff like that. In the upper part of the Earth's crust, we find coal. Sorry. Yeah. We find coal in all right, let me let's put a pause real fast. We have some people who are joining us, so we'll wait for them to come
We are only 7.
in. Well, I think
Ya no me cabe, cancelar nada más. Aspiradora. Aspiradora.
John Carlos is with us now.
Yes.
Carlos, my friend, how are you?
Good. And you?
Good. You just wake up? All right, give me one second. I think Gloria is going to join us real fast. Do you guys know what coal is?
No, only oil.
Oil? Okay.
Yes.
We're going to keep going now. So coal. In the upper parts of the Earth's crust, we find coal and oil, very valuable natural resources. Natural resource means it's a resource or something we use that comes from nature. It comes from the earth. Coal, a black or brown rock-like substance, coal is found in layers of rock all over the world. Scientists believe that coal was formed when large numbers of plants were buried under layers of mud and rock. The plants did not decay in the ordinary way because air pressure could get to them. Could not get to them, because air could not get to them. Pressure from the layers of rock above caused the plants to turn into coal. Coal could have been formed as a result of the great flood of Noah's day, and some of it could have created in the beginning of God. In many countries, coal is burned to heat homes. The United States is primarily to produce electricity to manufacture iron and steel. So here, I'm gonna show you a picture of what coal looks like. This
Okay. Show us coal.
This is not.
That's coal.
This is something I'm gonna show you. This is what coal looks like right here, okay? So it's these rocks right here.
Oh,
They're kind of
that looks strange.
thick. But
It's like carbon.
kind of like carbon, but these are more like rocks. Carbon's wood. These are more like rocks.
¿Dónde?
And they burn really, really well, and they smell really strong. They don't smell bad, but they smell really, really strong.
Really?
Like the gasoline.
Kind of like gas. Okay, let's keep going with oil.
Or silicone.
Valuable resources in the world is oil. In its natural state, it is called petroleum or crude oil. Scientists think that petroleum was probably formed from the bodies of plants and animals in the sea. When the plants and animals died, they sank to the ocean floor, pressed down on top of them, and changed them to petroleum. So they died and fell all the way to the bottom of the sea, and then more kind of like dirt and sand fell on top of that, applying pressure. And then because there was no way for air or anything to get to it, it stuck there, and then it changed and turned into oil, or what we use. So that's why when they find oil, they dig really, really deep, really deep, and drill it out. And it's kind of like a giant straw. Like, have you ever had a milkshake or a smoothie?
Mm-hmm.
So they drill, and that would be kind of like the straw. The straw is the drill, and they suck it out. The oil would be kind of like the smoothie. That's how they get it out. Okay, so this could happen during the flood. Of course, God could have created petroleum in the beginning. Scientists have found many uses for petroleum. Oil, gasoline, kerosene are made from petroleum that has been refined or purified. You may already know that oil is burned to heat homes and business. But did you know that many products in your home are made from it? Fabrics, cosmetics, and plastics are just a few of the many petroleum products. Petroleum is also used to make aspirin, toothpaste, and detergent. So, the medicine you take, and what you use to brush your teeth, and what you use to wash your clothes, those are all made from petroleum. So petroleum is very important. So it's one of those things. Okay, now we're going to talk.
No voy a hacer
Video of a geyser. We have, it's called Old Faithful. Let me see if I can see this. Let's see if it'll load. So that's right there. That's some steam and fog. So what it's doing is just getting really, really hot. So it's getting cooked in the ground. And it went away. Great. So it's getting really, really, really hot. And so it's going to start to shoot out these parts of air and steam. And at one point it's going to get so hot. It's going to shoot out water. So right now it's shooting out water right here.
I think that I looked that mixture.
You've seen it before.
Yeah.
See how high it gets?
Sure.
So that's called Old Faithful. That's in a park in the United States. It's a very famous park. So you can look up videos of Old Faithful and look at those eruptions like that. I'm sure you'll find many like that. Okay, let's talk about hot springs and geysers. When rain sinks down into the ground, it sometimes collects in pools between the layers of rock. The rainwater may rest on top of a layer of extremely hot rock that heats the water. So it's kind of like when you heat up water to make or something like that. It's the same thing. When the water bubbles up to the surface in a spring, it is still very warm. These springs are called hot springs or warm springs. You guys have that here. I think you guys call it aguas termales.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Aguas termales.
Yeah.
So that's a hot spring right there. In some countries, people put the hot water. Many homes in Iceland are heated by steam from hot springs. In countries such as the United States, Italy, Iceland, New Zealand, and Japan, the steam is used to make electricity. In some areas, channels run from the surface deep into the earth, the hot rock below. Stored water from surrounding sedimentary rock seeps into the channel to form a long column of water. The water at the bottom of the channel is superheated by the hot rock upon which it sits. Because of the weight of the water in the column, only the water nearest the hot rock boils. So imagine a giant tube like that. The water that's at the bottom is what's going to boil. And so when it gets super hot, it's just going to start shooting up and then goes out. The loss of some water makes the column lighter, and thus more water at the bottom of the column is able to turn to steam. The column continues to rise until all the water near the bottom of the channel violently explodes into steam, pushing the entire into the air, forming a geyser. Old Faithful, a famous geyser in Yellowstone National Park, into the air, 100 feet into the air. When the underground channel is empty, then the channel begins to fill up again for the next eruption. We're going to do hollow caves, okay? So a cave or cavern is a large hollow area in the Earth's crust. Some caves are made up of several chambers, several rooms. So imagine your house, okay? And so the entrance to your house would be the entrance to the cave. There's many caves that have many different rooms. And so you might go into one part, you'll go deeper and deeper and deeper. Have you guys ever been to Cueva del Tigre?
Yes.
Did you go inside the cave?
No.
You didn't go inside the cave? I went inside the cave. Yeah.
There are tigers over there.
Yeah, look at they bit my arm off, see? No. There's a picture of a tiger inside, but there's bats and stuff around. But if you go into one part, you'll go right and down to the bottom, and inside there's another room, and so the room is bigger. That's fine. So,
I know where there is water,
where?
in Tokyo.
In Tokyo.
Yeah.
Carlos, I'm gonna mute you so we can't hear what's going on behind you, right, bud? If you want to talk, unmute yourself, okay? Okay, sounds good. Okay, now let's keep going with caves. The longest cave is the Mammoth Flint Ridge Joppa Cave System in Kentucky. 348-mile series of chambers and passageways. Imagine a cave that'll go from here all the way to San Pedro Sula. That's how big that cave is. Bigger. Although no one has ever seen a cave being formed, geologists believe that caves were made underground as the acid and water dissolved some of the rock. Most caves are hollowed out of limestone. Some caves contain underground streams, lakes, or waterfalls. Unusual rock formations are also sometimes found in caves. Stalactites, everyone say stalactites.
Stalactites.
Stone icicles hanging from the roof of the cave. So there's stalactites that hang down, and stalagmites that are on the bottom. They look like
in the television.
you saw on the television. I'm gonna show you guys a picture of a famous cave in Colorado that I've been to, that I have photos of. That is, it's called Glenwood Caverns Caves. But look at all these.
What?
So this one right here, this photo, I don't know if you can see it. This right here is called Valley of the Kings. That's the name of it. So look at all these stalactites that are coming up from the top, and the stalagmites that are coming up from the bottom. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
All right, so those are stalactites and stalagmites. So that's what happens inside caves. Stalactites are formed when water-carrying dissolved minerals seeps through the roof of the cave. Droplets of water that evaporate before they have a chance to fall leave behind the minerals which form stalactites. Stone formations growing up from the floor of the cave are stalagmites. We have stalactites and mites. Stalagmites are also formed from dripping water. Water that drips to the floor and evaporates there leaves behind minerals. The mineral deposits on the floor under a constant drip eventually forms a mound of rock. It may help you to remember the names of these formations by thinking that stalactites are found on the ceiling and stalagmites are found on the ground. So the C, the stalactites, is found on the ceiling, and the G for G, ground, is stalagmites, okay? Sometimes stalactites and stalagmites grow together and form a column which reaches from the ceiling to the ground, okay? So one thing they talk about next is spelunker. People who enjoy exploring caves are called spelunkers. They like the challenge of penetrating deep into the earth's crust. Spelunking or caving requires knowledge and skill. It can be extremely dangerous because spelunkers often have to cross chasms. And once out of sight of the entrance, caves become pitch black. You should never try to explore a cave without an adult who knows how to take children caving. So if you ever go to Cueva del Tigre, make sure you go with your parents or someone who will know how to get out. And it gets very dark, okay? All right, let's go to page 116.
We have comprehension check.
Yeah, but we're not gonna do that right now. I got good news for you guys. We were supposed to do 4.8, but we're not gonna do that today. We're gonna do that next week. Okay?
Okay.
We're just gonna do 4.7. But let me explain the comprehension check. The first question is, how is coal used in the United States? Remember we talked about coal, which is one of the natural resources. It's that black rock, okay? You're gonna look back and see how do they use it in the United States? What is oil called when it's in its natural state? That one's pretty easy, okay? You'll find the name. I'm pretty sure it's highlighted in black. Yep, it's highlighted in black, okay? How is the water heated in a hot spring? So remember how I talked about boiling water and how it shoots up from the top? How does it get heated, okay? By that hot rock. You have to explain how it gets heated. Very simple. What is the name, in what kind of rock are most caves found? So that'll be in the section about caves. What is the name for a spring or hot water that spurts from the ground? I showed you one of those. It's one of the videos I showed you. Name the rock formation that best fits each view. So there's two, stalactites or stalagmites. And so you have to say, if it holds on tightly to the ceiling, is that a stalactite or stalagmite? And the one that grows from the ground, stalactite or stalagmite, okay? We're gonna keep reading though, okay? We're gonna talk about fossils, all right? Everyone on page 116?
Yes.
All right. Gloria, I didn't say hi to you. How are you doing, Gloria? Good. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going with fossils, all right? Fossils, preserved remains animals, all right? Are among the most interesting things that you can observe as you learn about geology. Geology is the study of the structure of the earth. Virtually all fossils are found in sedimentary rock. So where are all fossils found? What type of rock? What did I just read? All fossils are found in what type of rock?
Sedimentary rocks.
Sedimentary rock. Good job, Carlos Abraham. Scientists have discovered that most fossils look the same as the plants and animals we know today. Other fossils are of animals which are extinct, or which mean no longer exist. No more of that animal or that plant. Since the time of man's fall, many animals have become extinct, and some are near extinct today. Some of the animals of North America that became extinct long ago were the dinosaurs, the woolly mammoth, which is a huge hairy elephant. Have you guys seen a picture of a woolly mammoth?
No.
Let's
But I know it's a mammoth.
look at a picture of a woolly mammoth. All right. So imagine a elephant that's ginormous and very hairy.
Whoa, that's big.
Let's look at the size comparison between that
That's a giant thing.
and all right, so here we go. We have this photo right here. Let it load. You can't really see it that well. You guys see this photo right here?
Yeah.
All right, so this first one is an elephant. These first two are elephants. That's a woolly mammoth. Look how huge that is. I don't know if I were you, but I'd be terrified to see that thing in real life. It's scary. So that's a woolly mammoth. That's extinct now. The mastodon, which was the second one we saw, so we went the elephant, the mastodon, and the woolly mammoth. A giant camel that was 15 feet tall, and a giant bird that was 9 feet tall. Do you want to see photos of these things?
Yes.
We should look them up, right? Let's look up a photo of a giant camel. All right, giant camel.
Come on.
That's a normal camel. Look how big this camel is right here.
Oh my God, that thing is big.
Look how big it is. Look at the size of the car on this one.
Oh my God.
Right there, I see that.
You know, I have never seen that before. And now let's do a giant bird.
They are in Hoya Grande.
Are they really?
Giant bird. Really?
Yeah.
Extinct.
Let's see. What's that?
Photo.
Elephant bird of Madagascar.
Elephant bird of Madagascar.
They're kind of like an ostrich, but bigger.
Oh my.
Almost double the size of an ostrich. Can you imagine that thing?
That thing is giant. That bird.
I'd be terrified.
That too is in Hoya.
I'll be terrified. Oh.
Actually, let's do one more, okay? I'm sorry. We'll do one more. This one right here. This one's one of the coolest. Saber-toothed tiger. Okay, so this was a saber-toothed tiger that had giant fangs.
That can attack. That can kill like.
Of the movie or how
15 persons. I think so.
Oh man, I'd be terrified.
Those teeth, the one that terrified me.
The teeth is what terrifies you. Those are huge. Teeth are huge. Okay. So those are the ones that are extinct, but that lived in North America. 3 North American birds that have become extinct since the late 1800s are the passenger pigeon, the Labrador duck, and the Carolina parakeet. Let's talk about how fossils are formed. It takes very special conditions to produce a fossil. When plants and animals die, they are usually eaten by other animals or they decompose and provide humus for the soil. In order for a plant or animal to become a fossil, it must be protected from hungry animals, usually by being buried quickly in sediment or grass or dirt, sand, stuff like that. Most of the time, the soft parts decay and only the hard parts, which are the bones and the shells, are fossilized. Fossils may be forming today in places like river mouths, where large amounts of sediments are being dumped into the sea. In many areas of the earth, excuse me, there are enormous fossil graveyards containing huge numbers of fossilized animals.
Bless you.
Animals were evidently buried alive very suddenly before they could escape from some great catastrophe. In some places, the fossils of land-dwelling animals and sea creatures are buried together. Much of this burying could have taken place during the worldwide flood of Noah's day. So the flood that destroyed everyone with Noah in the ark, that could have been what had caused a lot of fossils. Now, petrified fossils. Have you ever held a piece of petrified wood and wondered why is it so hard and rock-like? Petrified wood is actually a type of fossil. Petrified fossils are plant and animal remains that have turned to stone. Minerals from the mud that buried the plant or animal seeped into it and either replaced or strengthened its substance. Thousands of petrified logs can be seen in the famous Petrified Forest National Park in Arizona. The vast majority of fossils are petrified. Talk about molds. Another type of fossil is a mold. Molds are formed when the mud that buries a plant or animal quickly hardens around it. This living thing decays and leaves a mold or impression within the surrounding material. Sometimes natural processes fill the mold with minerals. Sometimes scientists fill the mold with a material such as plaster or wax that will harden to form a cast. Then the outer material can be chipped away, revealing a cast of the plant or animal. You have prints. Animal tracks, the outlines of leaves and feathers, and the imprint of skin have found hardened in stone. This kind of fossil, known as print fossil, is formed from mud that contained the print hardened into rock. Print fossils are valuable because they show paleontologists are those who study fossils, the design of a bird's feathers or the structure of leaves and plants. Some prints show the pattern of a dinosaur skin or armor. All right, let's go to the next page. All right, hope animals and plants. In some places, the preserved remains of entire animals have been found. In the ICP region of Siberia, scientists have uncovered whole woolly mammoths preserved in ice. Some scientists think that these mammoths froze as a result of a rapid drop in temperature. All animals have been preserved in tar. Some insects have been found preserved in amber, the hardened cap of certain trees. Okay, so that's fossils and casts and prints. So a fossil is the actual bone or the actual material of the dinosaur, the plant, or whatever it might be, and the cast is just kind of like the shell. Have you ever been to the beach?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever put your foot in the sand?
Hmm?
Or your hand, and then when you take it out, there's a shape of your hand. So that would be a cast. Your hand got stuck there, and for years and years and years, and it got buried by dirt, and then they eventually discovered it. It was still there. That would be a fossil. So let's look at fossils and casts right now. All right, so we're gonna look at fossil of a dinosaur.
That is of a T-Rex, that is for mosasaurs. That one is for Pledorons. And
Well, look at this one right here.
I don't know.
See how big we can make this one. This one right here is a fossil. It looks like there's many other dinosaurs that were there, but that's a fossil of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's the actual
complete dinosaur.
of the dinosaur, yeah. Now let's look at a cast of a plant. Or cast of a fossil. There's a guy passing by my house.
Plant fossils.
All right.
So plant fossils. Let's see.
Mold and cast.
Yeah.
One.
So that's a
Done.
cast of or mold of what a fossil would look like. So it just has the shape of what used to be there. It's pretty cool, right?
But to the same time, scary.
It's scary to you. Why?
Yes.
No, it doesn't have to be scary. All right, let's look at petrified wood. Petrified wood is this right here. So it's wood, but it looks like it's a rock. Really beautiful. So this is what it looks like right here. Look how pretty these are.
Mm-hmm.
If I get one, that one, they give me $1 million.
This is petrified wood in Arizona. So look, that's wood, but look at how it kind of looks like a rock, and it's all red and shiny and white right here.
Yeah.
I was thinking that other one was a fish.
They're
Yeah.
so beautiful.
All right.
Mister, have you seen one of that ones?
Have I seen one of these?
Yes, in the real thing.
I haven't seen one this big, but I have seen petrified wood before. It's not too hard to find it. There's a lot of people who have it, but it's pretty cool.
It needs a lot of money. Or no?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they can be pretty expensive. It all depends on what it is.
Oh.
Okay, let's go through the comprehension check, and then we'll be all done. Okay.
Okay, Mister.
Monse, your microphone
We'll
works.
do it.
Wait, Mr.
Do you listen me again? Mister,
Wait.
because how I having off this.
That's what I thought. I thought you had to turn it on. Okay, let's go through the comprehension check. First one, it says, give the word that best fits each clue. So, the preserved remains of plants and animals. What is the preserved remains of plants and animals? Fossils? Is it amber? Paleontologist? Sedimentary? What is the type of rock in which most fossils are found? Remember, John Carlos gave us the answer for that one. 3. What is the hardened sap in which some insects have been preserved? That was one of the last ones that we learned about. And then D, a scientist who studies fossils. What is the name of a scientist who studies fossils? Number 2, substances in which whole animals have been preserved, which means that they've maintained their shape and you can still see them. Actually, let's look for that. The preserved woolly mammoth. So this is a woolly mammoth that has been preserved.
Mister, the ones that they are like in the floor, they are died already.
Oh yeah, they've been dead for a long time.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah, that's okay. It looks kind of gross. Let's not look at that. Okay, so that's talking about that part. We talk about woolly mammoths that have been preserved. Look for 2 substances in which whole animals have been preserved. 3, when were most fossils probably formed? We talked about that. It's one of the Bible stories. So when were most fossils probably formed? And the last one, name 4 kinds of fossils, okay? Very simple. Make sense?
Yes.
Easy?
Yes.
All right.